Hello, my pretties. This is Shadow the Lion Queen here, and welcome to episode 404 of Shadows and Pretties. Today, we are going to look into this British supernatural horror film called Bloody New Year, also known as Time Warp Terror and Horror Hotel. This one came out in 1987, so it was about nearly 40 years ago. Now, basically, this movie is actually one of these movies for to start off the fact that New Year's Eve is around the corner. Whenever I upload this, it'll be just before New Year's Eve. So I definitely do need to say is that it's a really interesting concept for a movie. I personally really enjoyed this a whole lot. So basically we got good cast and good crew, which I think it's pretty cool. And the filming pretty much took place, around Barry Island and even then Ferris Point House. So you can definitely say that's pretty interesting. So the whole thing started shooting in June of 1986 and it was filmed in 4 to 5 weeks. So, yeah, actually, I really do think that it's a pretty cool movie. I personally definitely really have to say it's a pretty good movie. I mean, at the same time, it's so bad, it's actually pretty good. So I'm going to talk about the plot of this movie for anybody who has not seen this movie yet, and for those who have not seen it in a long time would want a refresher, and for those who have not seen it. So I'm definitely going to sit here and talk about this movie. So basically, the plot is it takes place in 1959. A group of partygoers celebrate New Year's Eve at the Grand Island Hotel before mysteriously vanishing. So then, decades later, a group of teenagers, couples Leslie and Tom, Janet and Rick, with their friend Spud, are spending the day at the Seaside Fun Fair when they see a trio of hooligans, Dad, Ace, and the Bear, terrorizing an American tourist named Carol. They rescue Carol and escape the thugs by taking a boat out to sea, only to run aground and end up being stranded on a grand island. They stumble across the hotel, which appears deserted, as the lobby is adorned with Christmas decorations, despite the fact that it is July. Spud starts looking for a towel for Carol, who is damp and shivering. While he's gone, the apparition of the maid enters and gives Carol a towel. Meanwhile, Spud hears music coming from the ballroom and he sees a duo performing on stage only for them to vanish before his eyes. In one of the guest rooms, Janet and Rick swap their ruined clothes for 1950s attire. Janet gets horrified by the sudden appearance of the disfigured woman in a mirror. While searching the building's circuit breakers, Leslie and Tom are startled by fireworks that inexplicably ignite. The teens regroup and find the hotel's empty theater, which was the screaming for the film Fiend Without a Face, which of course was a 1958 independently made British black and white science fiction horror film. So Rick is convinced that someone is staging an elaborate prank, tries to run off at the projector, but inadvertently plays a promotional reel for the hotel, showing partygoers in front of the entrance. One of the figures bursts through the kitchen, kills Spud, and vanishes. While desperately trying to find a way off the island, the survivors separate and are each plagued by the supernatural happenings. Leslie and Tom find a cottage near the shore, where Leslie is attacked by a monstrous figure that disappears after Tom spears it. Janet and Rick hear disembodied voices in the woods and see a plane crash into a nearby buildings, and Carol is suddenly caught in a snowstorm inside the hotel. Leslie summons the group to the cottage to find Tom. There they were attacked by the free hooligans who have followed the group to the island in another boat. Dad kills Leslie by impaling her through the abdomen, which upon she transforms into a zombie. She kills Dad by throwing him out of the window, then Bear by twisting his head around and breaking his neck. Meanwhile, Janet is attacked by the banister carving that comes to life, and Rick takes an old shotgun and shoots Leslie, seemingly killing her. So an injured Tom returns to the hotel and is cared for by Janet, Rick, and Carol, search for the hooligans' boat and discover the site of another plane crash. Tom transforms into a zombie and attacks Janet, who runs to the hotel's lift with Tom in pursuit. Tom gets killed when the rising lift traps and severs his arm, while the futureless figure envelops Janet and absorbs her into the walls of the lift. Elsewhere, Carol and Rick witness more apparitions and poltergeist activity, and Ace is killed in the kitchen after falling into a large vat. So Carol and Rick flee to the ballroom, where they are greeted by a woman resembling the zombified Leslie. She tells them that they are trapped in a time warp created by when an aircraft carrying an experimental cloaking device crashed on the island on New Year's Eve in 1959. Carol and Rick flee the hotel, presumed by their friends and the hooligans, now all resurrected as zombies. They make it to the shore, and Carol manages to board the hooligans' boat. But Rick is trapped in the quicksand and unfortunately gets killed by the zombified dad, who slices his head with an outboard motor propeller. Carol then gets pulled through the floor of the boat and into the water by unseen force as she emerges behind a mirror in the ballroom, where friends and the hooligans are now restored to their original appearances, are happily joining the New Year's celebrations. As the picture fades to black, a woman's scream is heard. That's how the movie ends. So I definitely gotta really say is that it's a pretty interesting movie. I do like the concept of it a lot, even though this movie came out in the 1980s, like late 1980s. It's still a really good film. Like, there's a lot of great stuff about this movie that is just absolutely amazing. Like, I mean, to be honest, this was actually a very fun movie to watch. Like, when I first watched this movie, I was like, wow, it's just a really good film. Like, I personally really enjoyed this a whole lot. I thought it was really neat and well done. I do appreciate how well made this movie is. Now, I think you could find this on Amazon or eBay. I'm pretty sure that's where you could find this movie. So, there's definitely that. And I definitely do need to say is that it's a really amazing film. So I can easily recommend something if you're going to watch it, for New Year's Eve or whatever. I can easily recommend this movie. This movie is just fantastic. It's really well done, and it's definitely one of those good ones. So I can definitely say it's a really great film. Now, I guess with that being said and that being the case, like I'm always going to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these movies. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. So, what did you guys personally think of this movie? Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. And as always, I'm Shadow the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you guys are brand new to this channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when it uploads. That way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, if you guys want to go follow me on Blue Sky, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on DeviantArt, and follow me on my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, as links to those will be in the About page section so you guys will not miss an upload. And yeah, I mean, if there's anything that I missed about this movie, let me know what it is in the comment section down below. So, I'll probably do another episode of Shadows and Pretties probably in the new year, which will be 2026. So, with that being said, have a good day, night, wherever your time zone is, and we'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.